How is it going, everybody? My name is DeMarco, and today we're diving into my top 6 most anticipated games for the Xbox Direct Showcase. Now, quick note before we get into it, this is not going to be an exhaustive list of everything that we're definitively going to get to see at the showcase. Simply don't have the time to put together a well-researched video beyond the obvious predictions that people already have put out there. Not worth your time. Why have I been so busy? I hear all of the smartest viewers and subscribers asking fantastic question. Myself and many other content creators have been working hard to put together Stars for Change, a Starfield Direct pre-show charity event benefiting St. Jude Children's Hospital. Myself and many other creators coming together at one place at one time right here on this channel Friday, June 9th. Today, Friday, June 7th, I'll be hosting a very quick live stream going into more details, but there'll be giveaways, Q&As, tons of speculation, fun, and commentary from everybody on board, guest appearances. I promise that it will be worth your time. So please do consider stopping by. Anyway, on with the video. Kicking it off with number 6 on this list is Replaced, and honestly the only reason it's this high on the list and not close to the bottom as far as games I'm excited for is because we've already seen a pretty enough amount that I'm sold, completely convinced and on board to play this day one when it gets released. Coming from Sad Cat Studios, it's an indie debut title for them. I love indie games. I love when new studios are producing original IPs to look forward to. Replaced is no exception. It has this incredibly beautiful 2.5D art style with cyberpunk and retro vibes that look absolutely mind-bogglingly impressive. And honestly, I know a lot of folks, especially with how exciting Hi-Fi Rush was, are hoping for a shadow-launched game at this event. And if there is one that's going to do it, Replaced would be a fantastic fit for that. It's been delayed several times. Hopefully it's ready, or at least very close to being finished, and they could drop it very soon or right during the showcase. That would make for a stellar announcement. Sitting comfortably at number 5 is Hellblade 2. Now, I'm going to be honest, I've never played the first Hellblade, so a lot of people might be wondering, why the hell is Hellblade 2 on this list? Honestly, it might surprise people, but the mechanics and the unique ways that Hellblade approaches audio is something I'm definitively looking forward to, and absolutely, I will get to the first Hellblade before I jump into the second one. But aside from the beautiful presentation, visually speaking, that we've already seen, I absolutely will give brownie points for a game development team trying to do unique mechanics specifically for Hellblade in the way that audio is handled. It helps to differentiate itself from otherwise a lot of more and more formulaic feeling titles. Could go really on a far tangent about the nature of modern AAA development from the perspective of an armchair developer who's just rambling on in a YouTube video, but I'm gonna spare you all the pain of that. You're welcome. Number 4 is Flintlock Siege of Dawn, and this one I had the most trouble as to where to place it on this list. I was immediately enamored by its presentation style and flair. Combining your magic, your flintlock, and axe, it's making a more cinematic approach to the Soulsborne experience that looks absolutely beautiful from what we've seen so far, and absolutely it takes some of those mechanics and tries to push itself to do something unique in a genre that admittedly I'm starting to feel a bit fatigued by. There's an increased emphasis on verticality and some platforming elements to help it stand out from the crowd a bit, and honestly that has me gripped. There's some pretty cool little mechanics that I like the way they're handling it. For example, you get new powers by defeating some bosses in the world, and that's how you get stronger, which I love that as a concept. Instead of losing all of your experience outright when you die, it's a Souls light experience. Instead, you lose currency that you use to buy items and weapons and that sort of thing. It's not so hardcore for people who don't necessarily enjoy games like Demon Souls. Sounds like a fantasy steampunk Jedi Survivor-like experience, and that's all I need to hear. I'm in. Securing its spot at number 3 is Weird Song, which might seem a bit strange that it's this high on the list given the only thing that we've seen so far is a small cinematic teaser for the game that kind of looks like concept art, but allegedly, it's here on the list. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. I'm intrigued. Maybe I'm just a simple guy with simple tastes for simple games, but I can't help but look at something like this and go, more! They start off with that opening shot of all the former Bethesda and Obsidian developers that are coming together to work on this project. That has me excited. I mean, how do you not look at that list and go, huh, you know, that could be pretty cool. I'm not saying the game's gonna be great. I have no idea. We've seen literally nothing as far as gameplay yet. But, I mean, the the talent's definitely seemingly there. So listen, I hope it does come together. I hope they do have this new exciting experience, and I hope it does live up to the reputation that these developers have to make this exciting experience. I'm an optimist. I like to look at things in an optimistic way, and me hoping for the best for this game is a pure reflection of that. Again, simple man for simple games. And especially if they go back to some of those more hardcore RPG elements that even Starfield isn't reaching. I'm talking Morrowind and Oblivion and a high level of choice and consequence, and you stick that into a brand new dark fantasy world with new lore and characters to explore and create and discover, and that has me excited as all hell. Number 2, I feel like we're getting to the obvious part of this list based on what isn't. By process of elimination, you could kind of figure out what these last 2 games are going to be. Number 2, ladies and gentlemen, is Fable, coming from Playground Games. I'm not even a hardcore Fable fan. I played Fable 2 years ago. I played some of Fable 3. I will eventually go back and play some Fable 1, but I love what this franchise has to offer, and I know a lot of other people are excited about it, and that gets me excited about it. Simple man for simple games. And ultimately, I think why it gets placed so high on this list for me is because I feel like everybody is kind of at this stage of just wondering what the racing developers are going to do with the open world fantasy comedic RPG. I mean, just everybody has to be wondering that, and there's a combination of the fact that the tease came out so long ago that we've just been sitting and waiting for more information on this game, and the anticipation builds up. I don't know if this is the popular opinion as far as it pertains to Fable, but I am hoping that Playground Games is able to accomplish the same style of Monty Python humor, of course, which the teaser had. But that's just a teaser trailer. To write a whole game in that style is another challenge entirely. But while the teaser definitely captured the tone, I'm hoping that they retain some of the other elements that made Fable so special. The small but important things, like the economy system, should definitely make a return. The appearance of your character changing if you're a good or a bad egg, things of that nature, I want to see make a comeback. But ultimately, I want it to differentiate itself enough where it stands on its own thing. It could still take place in Albion. It could still have a couple familiar faces for fans of the franchise to go, oh, it's him! For someone like me who's not hyper invested into the franchise, I want to feel welcomed into it as well. And on top of that, I would want Playground to leave their own mark on the franchise. They're a new studio with new ideas and new talent. Let's see what they can do, and they need the freedom to embrace that creativity. Number 1 on this list should come as absolutely no surprise to anybody who knows me or knows this channel. It has to be 1000% Avowed. You tell me that Obsidian Entertainment is making an open world fantasy RPG, and I just go, here's my money, take all of it. I specifically went to the bank for this one singular moment in the video to make it, it's the extra effort for all of you guys watching this video the whole way through. The little details, they matter. If you skipped here using timestamps just to see what number 1 was, for shame. I'm just kidding, you're cool too. I will admit, part of my excitement for this 1000% comes from the fact that I'm really starved for another style of RPG that Obsidian or Bethesda makes, and with Elder Scrolls not releasing until 2026 or 2027, 15 years between Elder Scrolls releases. Do you see the pain? But as far as Obsidian is concerned, I'm excited for their second foray into this style of game. There were things I liked about the Outer Worlds, there were things I didn't like, and fortunately, the things I liked, they did really, really well, but they could learn from some of their shortcomings and improve for the sequel. On top of that, you also are working within the confines of the Pillars of Eternity universe, and the ideal hope is that they can, instead of spend all the time they need to create a brand new world from scratch, they have the existing framework there. They of course need to expand and build upon it, but they could spend more time with the writing, with the quests, with making interesting characters and NPCs and all that great stuff that otherwise would have to be spent creating the foundations of a brand new world to explore. So there you go, top 6 games that I'm most excited about to hear more during the Xbox Games Showcase 2023. Do you agree, disagree with my list? Leave your top picks down in the comments section below. I know there's some others like the Gears of War and like Perfect Dark and others I haven't mentioned here, so I want to know what you guys are most interested in. It might even shape some content that I cover and check out some games I otherwise wouldn't if there's a lot of people that like certain things. So do let me know. And as an extension, number 0 on this list, Starfield. Some people might be panicked I wasn't going to mention it during this video. Others probably didn't give a damn. Either's totally fine. It has its own showcase. It's not technically part of the Xbox showcase, so I didn't include it in this video, but it's definitely my most anticipated game of 2023. I can't wait to hear more about it in 30 minutes of brand new footage. I mean, I've been talking about this game ad nauseum at times, so you guys know how excited I am for that one. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching again. Leave your top games in the comment section, and as always, I hope to see you all next time. So long, everybody!